Hey everyone, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Age, and I am back to talk about episode 4 of KinnPorsche. Time to feed the girls. To me, I really like this show. I like the concept of having an all-inclusive compound to run your gangster business, run your illegal games and schemes in. But the best part is you get to keep track of everyone around you. Also, since everyone is so close in that building, it's safe, but there will be drama and relationships building, interactions upon its inhabitants. So, at least for very, very juicy developments. That is an awesome concept that I can appreciate, especially when they all eat and sleep together. Anyway, let's hop right on into episode 4. This lovely episode starts with Porsche, and he is in the bed with a certain someone, and it's not who you think it is. It is actually Pete, but they didn't have anything like sex or anything like that. That was just how they fell asleep in the little bitty bed. Pete is like, what are you doing in my bed? Because you gotta remember, these are like tiny, like twin beds. Look like they're smaller than twin beds. They both cannot remember what happened last night. But as we all remember, Ken kissed Porsche while Porsche was drunk and fucked up. But this morning, Porsche was like, I feel like someone kissed me, or was it just a dream? So we all know, but he doesn't remember who kissed him. And Porsche said that the kiss felt strange. Next, we see Ken in the mirror of his bathroom, and he is just smiling and looking at himself and is just so happy that he got a little taste of Porsche. But he is also conflicted. He cannot get that kiss out of his mind. Ooh, he is sprung already. So Porsche is outside taking a smoke, or at least trying to, but his lighter doesn't work. So someone lights it for him. Vegas. Yeah, why is Vegas so pretty to me? And it wasn't even like that before, caveat. I didn't look at Vegas with such open eyes until very recently. But anyway, I digress. They are just chatting about what Porsche is doing in the big house and about Porsche, hitting Vegas' little brother. But Ken sees them when he walks out the door and feels some type of way about those two talking. He calls Porsche up to his room and tells him basically, I see you have a new friend. Don't talk to the Minor family. He is clearly salty about Porsche and Vegas hitting it off. Porsche is like, why? He talked to me nicely, so I was just returning the conversation. Manners. And he's wondering why Ken is tripping. Then Ken, trying to find a reason to keep Porsche up there in his room, he asks Porsche if he's okay with what happened last night. And Porsche is like, oh yeah, I'm okay with what happened last night. Ken is thinking Porsche is talking about the kiss, but we all know Porsche don't remember the kiss, because remember he told that to Pete this morning. So Porsche, not talking about the kiss, was like, oh, I do that all the time. Porsche was really talking about drinking herbal spirits and getting fucked up. Ken was like, you don't remember what happened after? Porsche was like, I was blackout drunk. And you could just see the disappointment on Ken's face, okay? He wanted Porsche to remember that kiss because it was special to Ken, and Ken wanted to be special to Porsche. But we know that right now, Porsche doesn't really feel anything towards Ken. Anyway, before they could get much further in their conversation, they were interrupted because Tankun was missing, but he was just drunk on the floor and his head was hurting. Basically, he had a hangover. Also, and it's just maybe me, I think that because his interruption was over some bullshit with Tankun, that made Ken want Porsche back. His Porsche, as he sees it. Tankun decides to go to the spa, which is in their home, and Porsche did not know that the spa existed. Me neither. He wanted a massage as well, so he lied and said that Tankun ordered massages for all 3 of his bodyguards as well. And y'all, he is teaching these boys how to be such bad boys. So Porsche ends up in the sauna alone while the other 2 went elsewhere in the spa to enjoy themselves. And of course, who comes in as his little stalker? Ken. So only those 2 are in the sauna. Ken and Porsche. He always seems to know where Porsche is at. So Porsche was about to leave, but Ken told him to just stay, of course. He really wants Porsche near him, guys. Like, this is where he starts to get that pull. And Porsche calls him out and is like, okay, you're being really, really weird today. The two of them talk about Phoenix Tattoo, and we learn that Porsche's mom told him that he couldn't die before Porsche graduates from college. Also, she really liked the bird, like the phoenix. She really liked the phoenix. They talk a little bit about their brothers, and we learned that Ken hasn't seen Kim in ages. Hell, we, the audience, haven't seen Kim at all at this point. Then Ken is asking about Porsche's girlfriend. Testing the waters to see if Porsche has one and if Porsche is gay, basically. And Porsche's like, nah, I like being single. When Porsche returns the question, out of, nothing but pure manners and joking, Ken is like, how do you know I don't already have a girlfriend? Trying to make Porsche jealous again and it falling flat again. Because remember, Porsche doesn't really like Ken like that right now. Anyway, so with that whole conversation, Ken is like probing Porsche because Ken then asks, if you were a girl, like what the fuck kind of question is that? If you were a girl, would you like a guy like me? Like, yeah, why would he ask that? And then Porsche just looks at him. But that's only because Porsche is so damn hot in that sauna that he was about to pass out. We see him pass out, and then Ken, after he lands in Ken's lap, just has to smile because he was right. Also, he is very happy that Porsche has no mate. Later, Porsche wakes up and he's in the restaurant in the compound. Someone had moved Porsche from the sauna. So the guys were eating separate from the family members. All of a sudden, Vegas wants to join the bodyguards. Odd, but okay. Also, how they have a whole restaurant in that damn building is crazy to me. That is crazy money. But once again, I digress. You can see that Vegas is looking and smiling at Porsche. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Everybody wants Porsche, okay? Then, all of a sudden, guess who walks in? Ken walks into the room and wants to join the bodyguards as well. It is so awkward between the cousins. Porsche knows something is going on, and clearly Vegas wanted to talk to Porsche, just kind of by himself. But, with the bodyguards, it's fine. So, the only two really talking are Vegas and Ken, because the bodyguards are just kind of staying out of it because the family members made it fucking awkward. Vegas clearly knows that Ken is in love with Porsche, or at least is interested in him. So Vegas makes it a point to exploit that. Vegas says his personal bodyguard just quit, conveniently. So since, you, Porsche, can't adjust yourself to the main house, come and be my bodyguard. Ken is immediately like, no. Vegas smiles because he knows he hit a nerve. Ken was like, I don't like people in my business. And Vegas said, oh, I know why. You don't want to open up your heart again and have it broken. What they see me in there. So many things confirmed here, though. Ken is acting so incredibly possessive of Porsche because he is in love with him. This shows that there was a person before who Ken had also loved and something had happened, something bad. Vegas is coming to exploit that. Then Taekyun hits Vegas in the head with a pan for bringing that up in front of everyone at the table, including Porsche, who I'm sure Ken definitely did not want to hear about it. Taekyun was like, who let Vegas sit with us? Clearly, Taekyun loads the Minor family. But Vegas was also, he was also sitting in his spot. That's the main reason that he kicked him out. To be honest, Vegas hasn't done anything yet, so I hope that Porsche spends more time with him, not to be with him, but just to spend more time with him and make Ken jealous even more. Like a spoiled rich kid who is so used to getting whatever he wants, including people, and controlling their actions. I hate that about Ken, okay? And I'm pretty sure being a cousin, Vegas has it as well, but we just haven't seen that yet of Vegas. Outside, Porsche meets Big, and Big is super jealous that Porsche was in a sauna with Ken. And yeah, Big is so in love with Ken. I hadn't even noticed it before, though. So anyway, Big tells Porsche to go bring a bag up to Ken's room. And to me, it smells like a setup. And guess what? It was. Porsche goes up to the room and no one is in there, or so he thinks. It ends up being Ken and his boy toy walking into the room, so Porsche is basically hiding behind the curtains. while they are about to bang. But, caveat again, y'all heard what Ken told his little boy toy? He said something had been bothering him. We all know what that something is. It's Porsche. I wonder when he's having sex with the little boy toy, if he is imagining that it's Porsche. I guarantee that he is. You know what would have been a good scenario? If Ken would have told his boy toy that the issue was Porsche, name dropping Porsche, and then the curtains roll back, exposing Porsche's hiding place. Yo, that would have made for like a really good, like awkward thing that him and Ken would have to deal with. Anyway, I digress. I'm not changing the storyline. Also, keep note on how Ken refuses to kiss the boy toy. But guess who he did kiss? Who he had no problem kissing? Porsche. Then they open the blinds to fuck, and there is Porsche, awkwardly exposed as the curtains are just rolling past his little face, and it scared the shit out of Ken. It's so awkward, and clearly Ken is so frustrated that Porsche is in there. So Big was waiting for Porsche in the hallway when Porsche was running out the room. He smirks because he knows what he did, and he was like, "Are you shocked?" And Porsche said, "Yes, Ken had guessed. It was rude of me to be in there." And Big became shocked himself because he was like, "That's the only reason you're shocked?" But Porsche had caught on. Big wanted to expose Porsche to the fact that Ken was gay, basically trying to out Ken to Porsche. Like, why though? Did Big think that would have made Porsche dislike Ken? Newsflash! Porsche already does not like Ken. And to be honest, I feel like Porsche kind of already knew, or at least had like a little inkling, that Ken was gay. Porsche defends Ken in this moment and his sexuality and reads Big for the filth. And Ken just happened to see Porsche, standing up for him. And y'all, I swear that made Ken fall more in love with Porsche. And just Porsche's gonna have to pay for it in the future. Like, I kid y'all not. Ken was so happy, but he was also shocked that Porsche had stood up for him. But so happy nonetheless. We can tell that being gay might be like a sore spot for Ken. Apparently, Pete and I think alike. We all thought that Porsche already knew. Then Porsche remembers the kiss all of a sudden. And y'all, oh, my sweet summer child, my sweet summer child. He is like, do two people who aren't in a relationship, do they kiss? And Pete is like, only if they like each other. Yo. The next scene is Porsche's school and the students, and they are there to watch a performance by the artist Wick. And guess who plays the singer Wick, y'all? It's my baby Jeff. My baby Jeffy. Y'all, he is so damn beautiful. And he may be itty bitty. He is itty bitty, but he is not itty bitty. Anyway, so Wick is like Porsche's idol. In fact, he says that he went to that school particularly because it was Wick's alma mater. So the students play a game after Wick's performance, and Porsche knows all the answers. The only thing is that they run out of shirts to give as prizes. So Porsche meets Wick after the show, and Wick asks Porsche what he wants as a prize. And Porsche asks if Wick could tutor him in the guitar so he could get into the program. I think that was a big ask for an artist. Like, hey, I'm going to ask Beyonce to teach me how to freaking sing. But, hey, a closed mouth never gets fed. So I guess Wick is like, nah, but he does in a really, really nice way. So he asks Porsche his name, and Wick signs his shirt. And he holds his little chest and he signs it while Porsche is wearing it. And y'all, it makes Porsche's day. And he also wishes that Porsche gets into the program. How nice of Vic, right? The next scene, Ken tells Porsche to take off his shirt. Porsche's like, nah. Ken is like, or am I going to have to take it off for you? Like, are you going to take it off? I'll take it off for you. So Ken looks at Porsche's bullet wound and sees that it's healed. But we really all know why Ken wanted to take off his shirt. He wanted to see that body. He wanted to touch Porsche's arm. I said touches. He wanted to touch Porsche's arm. He needed a reason. He tells Porsche he's going to be his bodyguard at the auction. Note, When Porsche asks Ken why, like, don't I have to watch Tenkun? Ken says Tenkun gave Porsche back because Porsche had ate with Vegas. Is that the truth, Ken? Or did you ask for Porsche back, sir? Also, I still hate how this whole family thinks of the bodyguards as just objects just to switch and trade. And, oh, you get him. Well, I'll trade you him for him. Like, that's so gross. Then, in the next scene, we get a reveal of the third son, Kim. And it is none other than the artist formerly known as Wick. Okay? And he is doing research and trying to find information on Porsche. But of course, at this point, he don't know that Porsche is actually Porsche's little brother. And yeah, why do I kind of get the feeling that Kim don't really like Big? Also, Big is just so eager to get Porsche in trouble. And the good thing is, Kim is not like that. He's very meticulous in what he does. But then Kim opens up the envelope that Big had gave him, and he sees none other than Porsche. Mind you, his apartment is so nice, but he has this corkboard behind this giant photo of himself, beautiful photo, where he is tracking something, and he adds Porsche and Porsche's pictures to the board. Also, his brothers and his cousins are on the board as well. Like, what is going on, Kimmy? The next scene is the auction where they have to bodyguard Ken, and Vegas calls Ken out. He's like, I heard that you actually asked for Porsche back instead of Tenkun just giving him back. And in this instance, I am inclined to believe Vegas on this one. Ken thinks Porsche is his plaything, his human, and y'all, I hate it. But one thing I do love is when Vegas switches to English, and y'all, it's just so sexy. Saved by the Bell. Even Ken's friends had to call Kim out, though. They was like, yeah, we know that you like Porsche. Like, why don't you just be nice to him? Don't be like an asshole. Further along in the night, someone poisoned Porsche, dropping something in his water, and he is kidnapped and then taken to a room in the hotel and is laid on a bed unconscious. Y'all, why does everybody want Porsche, baby? He is the it boy. So Ken noticed that Porsche had gone missing after a bidding war with Vegas. Noticed that Vegas left first, and they all searched for Porsche. All of the bodyguards searched for Porsche. And this is where Vegas turns bad, okay? He was the one who drugged and kidnapped Porsche because he knows that Ken likes Porsche and he wants to have sex with Porsche just to make him mad. Like, this family treats people like trash, like scum beneath their feet, and we don't even know if Porsche even likes boys at this moment. Like, what if we went through all this ordeals, and it turns out that Porsche is straight? I don't know. But the good news is Vegas ran out of time. But guess who was right on time? Ken. So instead of Vegas raping Porsche as initially intended, it was Ken instead. This is super sad, but I just have to put it like that. Even though Ken takes care of Porsche after he was drugged, no matter how Porsche was acting, Ken did not need to sleep with him. Porsche was out of his mind, and sure, Ken probably had been holding back for a long time, and initially he wasn't going to do it, and the drunk Porsche was just provoking him. Like, none of that even matters. He should not have slept with Porsche. He should have held it together and just tucked Porsche into bed after maybe giving him a little wash off because he probably stunk from the throw up. That's it. Like, just don't take advantage. But caveat though, I will say, even though it's a very controversial scene, I do appreciate that we get to see their booties and their bodies, okay? And bonus, we even get to see Vegas' little ass as well. It was nice on the eyes.